So the other night, I went out and saw Backrooms, and it's really neat. Backrooms is really neat. It's sold as a horror movie, but I didn't see it as a horror movie while watching it. It came across as a thriller. It came across as this action thriller movie type thing. And I've been thinking about it and I'm still stuck on it because I think the story isn't finished. And it's not me wanting to see more Backrooms because that would be bad. I think they had a movie and they ended it early. The they built the character and I was 100% on his side. I'm still 100% on his side. And I know that part of the drama is to say, no, there's something wrong with this guy. But the setup the setup seems so entertaining that I can't believe they didn't want to go in that direction, or I hope they do. And that's to say that they have an architect. They built a story where there's a maze, an architectural nightmare. And then there's an architect who is unfulfilled in life by selling furniture, which is just stuff that goes in the buildings. He's still messing with buildings, but it's not the way he wants to. And then he finds himself trapped, or not trapped, but lost. There's this puzzle right in front of him. And it's just interesting. It feels like a manga that where you think the story's finished and then it keeps going and then it comes to another conclusion and then it keeps going. And yeah, it's a good movie. It's a good story, is what it is. Um, the idea that I wished that he was a well what the to make it simple, I hope the story goes in a direction where that character comes back and is still trying to map out the back rooms. And he solves the problem of what's hurting everyone. That would be an amazing story. What they built was this uh drama. There's this drama about someone who's unfulfilled in life and has to go to a therapy session. And I'm stuck and lost on it. I don't understand. It's like they dropped the narrative instead of finishing the story and letting this character become a hero. I mean, it's such an interesting story. This guy finds a maze, this weird maze in the back of his store, and he explores it. He doesn't call the government or anything. That's what's part of what's so neat about it, is they built this character who's an architect who wants to. There's this puzzle in front of him, and I don't know. It's like he needed to feel worth or something. But then there's the therapy session, and in the therapy session, he talks about what was it? He comes home and he throws a glass in the sink, and then his wife comes down, and she says, "You woke me up. Why'd you do that?" And he's like, "I don't know why I did that. I was angry. I was frustrated." And then he starts going off about, "Why don't you get up your fat lazy ass and help me? I have to pay for your school and the food in the house and the house itself." And all he starts talking about his dreams. And then she's like, "Where have you been?" And he's like, "I didn't go in. I came home." And she's like, "No, I can smell it on your breath." So he's like, "I had a few drinks. You're right." So now she's talking to someone. She's talking to someone who's drunk, basically. So you can't really count whatever he says. He's really open and honest. And what comes out of him is talking about how he wishes that he had a partner that was supporting him in his dream to become an architect. And when I saw that scene, with the therapist, all I saw was character building. And then he ends the therapy session, or he goes back twice. I forgot. I need to see the movie again. But he's like, "Doc, you're gonna eat your words. I'm gonna prove to you that such and such is such and such." So it makes the whole thing. I think he was talking about the Backrooms, but it makes the whole thing sound like he got into one argument with his wife, or they argue all the time, but he got into this one argument that caused a divorce, and he can't let it go, and it has bothered him to the point where he's gone to see therapy. And I'm watching this movie, and even then, it's still hero character building. It's like, okay, maybe this couple can go to therapy and fix their problems. Whoever that is, he still cares about her. He's gone to therapy to try and fix himself. And he's stuck. Well, he needs money, so he somehow He's managing this furniture warehouse. Now, the furniture warehouse is interesting because I honestly doubt that he came up with it. I don't think that person, that character, put the funds together to own a store to sell furniture, old furniture. It looks like a business opportunity that he jumped on. I don't know. It doesn't seem like he's behind it, but the character of that pirate, that does seem like he came up with it in order to sell furniture. That looked like living rooms, bedrooms. That looked like public access. Someone inherited something. They tried to get creative. So what does that say? That's super interesting. I'm not poking fun at living rooms, bedrooms, because I still sing that song. That's super creative. But I hope people laugh with that guy and not at him. Now, the pirate character, what happens is he marches forward, and then it becomes too much and he falls down. And he closes, he shuts down the the skit that they're doing, and he opens the store. I'm stuck on this movie because I don't understand why they would build this narrative. So after that, it's pretty straightforward. He gets lost in the maze. His employees get lost in the maze. It seems like they die. And then I went to the bathroom. But when I got back, I need to watch the movie again. When I got back, he's sitting at a table with the therapist. And she's all tied up. And they have the therapy session again. And the movie changes. The movie changes into art house. It becomes something a little more less adventure. It literally becomes about the psyche and can this person heal somehow? And you really have to pick it apart to understand what they're trying to say. The next therapy session goes in a way where she's tied up and she doesn't want to be there. So that may be a clue. So that may or may not have been the perspective of his wife. Because what the therapist does is she participates. She has to. But he's tied her up there because he said you're just going to wander off and come back. It's the idea that he found a safe, he's looking out for people. And he found a safe space within the Backrooms. He's mapped it out somewhat. And he's tired of that chair. So she doesn't just wander off and get eaten or beat up by someone. The other interesting thing is that those other characters, he says, are also in the back room somewhere. Either he said they were sitting down or exploring the back room somewhere, which means that their alternate it doesn't mean that they were present at that moment. I don't think that's what that means. Because after he's gone, that pirate character's still walking around. So that means that at some point, those people were or are still messing with the back rooms. And what he's done is he's gathered them together. And he's placed them in this like safe room. But he also says they're not altogether real people. He could actually hurt them. And he's like hurt them and eat them. Which is to say they get replenished somehow. It's some weird copy. Whatever built those people also built the back rooms. It's a really good mystery. So it the furniture pirate. Why would it be attacking anyone? The architect wants to figure out his marriage. He wants to be an architect and live happily ever after. He's walking around trying to solve this puzzle so that the world is safe. But the backroom is when it copies him, is actually saying that he's this strong entity, which is a performance. Some people, I watched one video, and they said when he was copied, it was when they started making that short film, that the commercial, and that if that was true, if that is true, that means that that pirate character is an accident. So then it becomes then it becomes an action thriller again, where this character is now up against he's battling the therapist. He's battling the therapist. He's saving everyone's life in the background so that they have a safe space. He's trying to figure out the name. He killed his assistant, so he does. I'm not sure he knows what to do right now. But then the pirate character comes along. Now he has to battle a real world version, just like Dark or unfulfilled version of himself. Just like in that game some halfway through Space he's got the ray gun and he steps into this room and a giant hand lifts him up and just this blue face giant of himself that's attacking him. And if you hit the button right, he just shoots the hand, shoots the arm, shoots the face, and he's gone. But this story seems to say that no, his shadow ate him alive. He was there's some sort of message to say he's trying to reason and bargain and calm it down in his shadow himself. The therapist can't reason with him. Told to let that go. If drinking is a part of his shadow self, that they typically say, okay, well, start with stop drinking. They don't recommend a brand of whiskey that's a little bit less. I don't know. It's such a puzzle. It's neat.